left in the corner, George.
Hello there.
Hello, sir. My name's Leo from San Benito, Texas. Sir, you constantly discuss on your show about attacks as far as EMP, and you're pretty, constantly pushing that on.
Yes.
How serious do you think these attacks might happen? Iran, is there a big threat right now? Russia. I mean, could they possibly attack us with an EMP, pulse?
And it's not just an EMP, which I'll explain what it is. It's also a solar flare from the sun. I want one thing, personally, for myself. I want to be remembered as the talk show host who got our power grid insulated against an EMP attack or a solar flare from the sun. An EMP attack is when a country detonates a nuke high atop our atmosphere. Does not destroy anything physically, but because of the electromagnetic pulse from the explosion, it renders the power grid and shuts it down. And without the power grid, folks, we're screwed. Let me tell you something. You go one day without power, and I'm sure you've had some power brownouts out here because it's hot, and if air conditioning runs, you're shut down. You go one day without power, people go crazy. You go 2 days, people go nuts. This would go for a year or 2 or 3. They have predicted that 90% of us in this room would be dead within 1 year if the power grid is shut down for any length of time. No gasoline, no water, inability to get food, you can't go out and get anything. We are literally up a creek. An X flare from the sun is just as bad. If we get a big X flare from the sun, we did in the 1800s, it shut down the telegraph system. We missed one 2 years ago. It went off the side of the sun. Had it hit us directly, we would have been in deep trouble. This will happen, whether it'll be an EMP attack from a nation that can't stand our guts, or the sun. And if we don't protect the grid, we're up a creek. How much will it cost to protect the grid? It's predicted $2 billion, that's it. We waste that much on all these government programs. I really implore all of you to push your congresspeople and senators to get legislation pushed to get the grid insulated. We've got a new talk show host at our network. Her name is Meghan McCain. She is the daughter of Senator John McCain. She came up to me and said, "Gosh, I love your show. I listen to it all the time. You're doing everything." I says, "I need a favor from you." And she said, "What?" I said, "I want to meet your father. I want him to enter legislation, a bill which will fix our power grid." And she said, "This is a great idea. Let's get it done." So I'm going to go that way too. But there are other members of Congress now who are starting to wake up, thanks to a couple people, William Forstchan and Michael Maloof, who've written books about this as well. And we're going to get this done, folks, because the future of your life and your kids' life and their kids' life depends on this. Go 1 day without power. Test yourself. No cell phone, no electricity, no nothing, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We've got to get it fixed. I need your help on this too.
Okay, Frank Benton, retired science teacher from Brownsville.
Hi, Frank.
I have a question that's been bothering me for a while, and I'm honored to speak with you. Haven't heard anything about HAARP in a while, and I know that they can possibly change weather patterns, and that the U.S. is not the only one with a HAARP system. What is the latest that you've heard or has been on the show, and is it possibly that it could be used for climate change?
A couple months ago, we had Nick Begich on, who wrote the book Angels Don't Hear This HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, and it's an array, it's a system that's in Alaska, but it's also in Europe, and people really didn't know what the heck it was. They said it was a communication device. Bull. I think it's a weather manipulator, that they are beaming signals into the ionosphere and they're creating all kinds of weather change patterns and things. They said publicly a few months ago that they were going to shut it down for lack of funding. Bull. It's still operating and it's under control now of some companies in Britain, and it's in Alaska. But I think it's used for weather manipulation and weather control. Probably warfare.